Here we are in the Chesapeake Bay. Fairlee's at the helm. And right now we're trying to get around what's called the Baltimore Light, which is an elegant, probably one of the more elegant lighthouses on the Chesapeake Bay. There's the Baltimore Light. As you can see, it looks like almost French provincial. It's really quite beautiful. And there's an American flag there. I think somebody might be living there. I think they sold all these lights. I'd like to see this thing at night. I bet you it's something. And it's a favorite fishing spot, as you can see. Oh, there's only one boat there now at anchor. There were three when we were approaching. So the Baltimore Light, there it is. Well, as you can probably hear, the engine's on. We tried our darnest to get the Fairlee Creek by sail, only to be, what's the word? Well, become, but aggravated by the Chesapeake, by the twin bridges in Annapolis, because the wind was coming basically from the direction we wanted to go. So we, of course, tacked. And, well, that didn't work out too well, because there was a very strong current coming south, and the tacking courses were very close to parallel to the bridge, and every time we tacked, the current just pushed it away. Plus, when you get near the bay bridges, I guess it's because of the big bridge structures. As the winds come through the bridge and the supports, they seem to me to make swirls downwind. So you could be sailing along on a beam, and all of a sudden, in 2 seconds, the wind is on your nose. I've even had it come around 180 degrees. So we powered through there, put the motor on, and tried to sail the rest of the way. But of course, now we started out with a reef in the main and a partial jib, because it was like 15, 17 knots. And by the time we got to there at Patapsco, which is over my shoulder here, the wind was down to 3 knots. Welcome to the Chesapeake Bay in summer. So now we're motoring to Fairlee, and with a very interesting entrance, as you will see. One of the last things any sailor wants to do is to run the engine to get someplace, because it's boring. So much so that I often leave the steering to the automatic pilot, which guides the boat to a set course. The mainsail is still up from sailing when there was wind, but now it helps steady the boat from rocking side to side when using the motor, sort of like a big shock absorber. The clouds overhead mocked us with the clear evidence that there was wind way up there, but none to spare for us at sea level, where the water was almost flat, with no sign of a breeze. To add insult to injury, a large car carrier motored across our course to Fairlee, forcing us to parallel its course up the bay until it was clear. The channel into Fairlee is clearly marked with red nuns, but it starts out with guiding you directly towards the beach. Then you run parallel to the beach at an uncomfortably close distance. I mean, you could easily speak to someone on shore. To make things a bit more challenging, You sometimes have to contend with another boat navigating the very narrow entrance to the creek that you're trying to get through. Two boats can't go through at the same time, I think. Then when the time is right, power up, turn to starboard, and pass through without hesitation because the currents here can be swift. Next, dodge around the anchored boats and find a place to drop the hook. Here we're rounding up into the wind in preparation of doing just that. Well, we made it into Fairlee Creek. It's a lovely anchorage. Waiting for the sunset. A lot of the, it's a Saturday evening, so a lot of the boats have left because people have to work tomorrow. And us retirees can just hang out in peace and quiet. Well, not yet. This is the first time I've ever seen a seaplane take off from the bay, and in this case from the back end of Fairlee Creek. After it was gone, the full moon was rising over the creek, and it was quiet again. Well, it was a wonderful night here on Fairlee Creek, on the eastern shore of Maryland. And pretty soon it's going to be time to pull the anchor up. My boat is equipped with the Low Franz horizontal manual windlass. No batteries, no motor. You're looking at the motor. And there are a number of reasons why I installed this windlass, which I'll get into. But the main reason was that I wanted something reliable. And I didn't use a windlass a whole lot. We didn't anchor a whole lot. So why go to the expense of batteries and wires? We're going to pull up the anchor soon. And I will show you a real-life demonstration on how this windlass works on my boat. A little while ago, about a year ago, I actually made a demonstration video of the windlass after I installed it, but that was done at the dock. Since then, of course, I've anchored a number of places, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity to show you how it works in a real-life situation. Now, the wind's not really strong today, but I think it'll give you a pretty good idea. So let's get to it. All right, my first mate's at the helm, so she can help me pull the boat up on the anchor line. Now, if I was by myself, I could certainly do this by myself. It's not a big deal. And since there's very little wind today, I may just start off by trying to pull this rode up by hand. Got to turn the wash down pump on. Very important feature on this boat, which I forgot to turn on. I came with the boat, is the wash down pump. Right there. And that is to get rid of the incredible amounts of Chesapeake Bay mud we'll have on the anchor chain. Now I'm going to untie this. pretty easy pull. I have a lot of rode out. I was anchored parallel to another boat, and actually ended up putting more rode out so we would fall behind them, just in case. Everybody's gone now, because it's Monday. Okay, getting more resistance, and you can see the chain just coming up. There it is. Okay, chain around the gypsy, like so. Okay, just over the pulley that's in here, my handle. Now we start pulling it up. Doesn't look muddy yet. There's a little stuff on the deck. Let me get rid of it. As you can see, it's not as quick as an electric, but it gets the job done, and it's reliable. I got 40 feet out. I think my entire road is 120, rope and chain. A little more resistance. Getting close. Surprised there isn't more mud. Stopwatch on this, see how long it takes me. Okay, anchor's up. Let's wash it off a little bit. Surprisingly little mud. That's amazing. All right, so let's pull this up. There it goes. Wash it off a little more. And this is the part I like. You can very slowly pull it up into place, because if it's turned the wrong way, it won't come up. There, now she's up. Hang this up, put the handle away. Take the chain off. Okay. Close the locker. Now the last step, very important, so the anchor doesn't come loose during motoring or sailing. Let's put the safety line on. Check it, and we're done. Now I can tell my helmsman to head out on another day of fine sailing on the Chesapeake Bay, probably motoring because there's no wind, begins. Well, today is a much better day than it was yesterday. We actually have some wind to sail out of Fairlee, and heading for the center of the bay. I'll be turning north. And don't have a lot of wind. It's like 7, 8 knots, something like that. But it's something to work with, and we're not in a rush.